I see it right. Okay, does everyone have a notebook or something to write on that's not a piece of paper? Just a piece of paper. Is there some spots in that sales book in the back?
Oh, I can make some spots on the back of pages or blank pages.
Okay.
Is that the number that pops up on there?
So just use the back of that. Do you have a pen to write with? Okay, great. So who has been in the stall breaker class? If you have, raise your hand. Sorry. Okay. Who has not been in the stall breaker class that was this week? One, two. I don't think you were in it. Okay. So we're going to do a couple of examples here, and we're going to do some really quick. Again, if you've seen the magic, you can't tell anybody the magic trick, right? That's against the rules. So I want you guys to take a picture of this. Everyone take a picture of that on their phone. Man, look at you, Chris. You're like shoulder shot. Everybody got it? Everybody got that? Okay, we're going to need that in a little bit. So some people have seen this picture of me. Some people haven't. That is actually me. That was me freshman year. I had no idea what I was doing in life. That's a pretty dirty fingernail. It's because I was cleaning my house. Don't judge, Chris. Yeah, for sure. I went from that to the Lydell cut, real short. My brother used to take a Sharpie and line it out, and then we'd look at it, and then we'd go in the backyard and we'd buzz it up. So that guy had no idea what he was doing, and he's here now. You guys, if you were in the first class, we all looked at pictures of ourselves. Jerry Stud, she hasn't aged one day since she was 6. I don't know how it works. It's how it works. And we've all been in a position where we weren't sure what we were doing or what we were going to do. We've all been very nervous about things. I say often that people are hard enough on themselves, and people kind of hate themselves enough every time they look in the mirror and they say, you suck. Prove it. Okay, I will. And we don't need to be any harder on each other than we are on ourselves unless we're trying to help each other get better. That's the key. So everything that we do today and everything that we do here comes from a position of wanting you to get better at what you do. Part of being a professional is having your life in somewhat of an order, having your life set up to where you feel like you can accomplish the things that you want to accomplish. And the reason why that's important is because people can feel that. These mean nothing. This means nothing. This book means nothing. The Bible means nothing. The Quran means nothing without the correct interpretation and execution of what's in those books. That is a huge part of what people miss. It's just human nature. Has anybody ever told a sales manager, another salesperson, when they say, hey, do this, have you ever said, I did that? Raise your hand if that's ever happened. Right. It's life. It's life. And then somebody else goes out there and says the same thing, and it's like, dude, I said that. It didn't work for me. I wonder why it's working for you. Well, the customers have graded your level of conviction. They've graded your level of conviction. If your conviction's not greater than theirs, it's very difficult to move the deal forward. As where a new salesperson or a manager hasn't spent the last couple hours with that person, they don't have the investment like you do, but they have the investment in the outcome. That's the difference. If you've bought into their leaving, if you've bought into they have to get more money for their car, they got to kill their cat, whatever it is, you're done. You're done. What these stall breaker statements help with is preventing you from getting in that position, or at least acknowledging that you're in that position and you have a way out. These will help you. I actually braided that one time too. So be nervous. Be nervous. It's okay. Be nervous up here. You can't see it, but if we go through this wall, don't be nervous down there. What did we say the difference between nervous and excitement is? What's the difference?
The interpretation.
It's just the interpretation, right? It's the same feeling. It's the same feeling. It's just the interpretation. So, Izzy, read that real quick.
If you sell 200 vehicles in a calendar year and you don't make 100K at calendar, I will write you a check for the difference. Mario.
Everybody knows who Mario is, right? It's a guy we've all heard of, you know. What that means is what's 100 cars a year roughly out of 50 weeks? It's 4, right? So sell 4 cars a week, 50 weeks a year, you'll make $100,000 or more. If you don't make $100,000 somehow, they'll write you a check for the difference. If I sell, you sell, you're on the floor, you sell 200 cars, you make $80,000, we'll stroke you a check for 20 grand. Because these things work. The way you get to sell 200 cars a year is by utilizing these things to help create an environment where customers feel comfortable saying yes. Christian, read that.
Laziness kills ambition. Anger kills wisdom. Fear kills dreams. Ego kills growth. Jealousy kills peace. Doubt kills confidence. Now read that right to left. Ambition kills laziness. Wisdom kills anger. Dreams kills fear. Growth kills ego. Peace kills jealousy. Confidence kills doubt. Left to right, back, lead now.
What does that make you think about?
I don't know, confidence. I mean, having faith in yourself that you can do something else, you know. You're your own critic, you're your own.
Worst, huh? You're your own worst critic most of the time.
Just having the right mindset.
What about you, Izzy? What's that make you think about?
Just how your own mind can be your worst enemy.
Right. McNerney's got $2 grand.
No, somehow 25.
Somehow 25. Because you made an environment years ago to help that deal flow through. That's the idea. Anybody else? Anybody else has something that comes to mind when they read that?
I got something. So it's like, to me, the way I see it is, it's not bad, to be in one of those spots like being lazy, but you have to acknowledge, that and move forward with that's laziness is gonna kill your ambition. So that just a way for me to see like you can move forward. I'm being lazy right now. What am I doing that's keeping me from doing better, from having ambition?
Right.
And vice versa.
Right. It's so true. If you're there, it's okay. Just get out of there.
Yep.
Just leave.
There's a saying, Carbon, you're in being in the bag.
Right. It's called being in the bag.
As long as you know you're in the bag and you get yourself out of the bag, that's what that is.
Who helps take you out of the bag?
Managers.
Your peers, your managers, your staff, all of those things. You just gotta. I can't get Izzy out of the bag if he doesn't tell me he's in the bag. I know he might be in the bag, but he's going to tell me all the reasons why he's right to be mad if I try to tell him don't be mad. And sometimes all it takes is when someone is, if I'm complaining about something Trevor's doing to Zach, maybe he just tells me, hey man, have you ever thought about this? Snaps, maybe that snaps me out of that thought process. I never thought about it that way, Never thought about that. We don't know what each other's going through. We don't know what the customer's going through. Sometimes you don't even know what we're going through. Sometimes you're like, man, I just do not feel about it today, and I need to change that. So, anybody else?
I think if you look at that either left or right side, it's a choice.
Right.
So, are you choosing the left side or are you choosing the right side? The comfort zone, not.
Yeah, it's thinking about you now. It's thinking about you later. This is right now. This is a feeling, right? Kind of like what Courtney's saying. It's a choice. These are feelings. I feel lazy. I feel angry. I feel like I'm in fear. I feel my ego. I feel jealous. I feel doubtful about my skills. But ambition, wisdom, dreams, growth, peace, and confidence are all actions. They're all things you have to do. They're all things you have to do. It's really hard to be successful. And whatever gauge you're using, it's also really hard to not be successful. You just have to choose what kind of hard you want to live. Don't quit to give up. Go through it. Right? Right? Good. Oh, hold on real quick. Give it away. Okay, so I want you guys to do me a favor. We're going to do this real quick. We're going to do 1 minute. Flip a blank piece of paper around. And the person next to you, you guys are going to play tic-tac-toe. Don't give it away. Don't give it away, give it away, give it away. Who wasn't in this class? Who's never played tic-tac-toe in this room? Okay, so you're going to play with the person next to you. You're going to have 1 minute. When do you guys want to do a timer for 1 minute?
I got it.
Okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to see who can beat the other person the most. Who can beat the other person the most, okay? Who can win the most games? Fire away. 1 minute. Go.
Oh, got you.
9.
Okay, so I want you guys, don't say it, but write down who won the most games and how many games you played. How many games did the winner have, and how many games were you able to play? Okay, everybody got that down? Okay, now we're going to spend 1 minute again. 1 more minute. It's only a minute, 60 seconds in it. Figuring out how many games can be won. How many games can be won? Your goal is to win, to have as many games won as possible. Ready? Go.
Oh, we're playing.
You're just trying to see how many games can be won. It doesn't matter who the winner is. You just,
Ooh, buddy.
doesn't matter who wins. You're just trying to get to win as many games as possible. It doesn't matter who wins. You benefit just as much if the other person wins. It doesn't matter who wins. You just want the game to be won. It doesn't matter who wins. It doesn't matter who wins. Doesn't matter who wins.
Time.
Okay. How many games did you guys play?
The first one and second.
The second round.
Second round we played 12.
And how many games were won?
12.
How many games did you play the first time?
4.
How many games were won?
0.
So 4 games, no wins. 12 games, 12 wins. Who won more in the second round? It's equal. It's equal, but it doesn't matter, right? How about you guys? How many games did you play the second round?
4.
And how many games were won?
1, 2, 3 games were won.
Okay. Why?
Because it didn't matter who won or lost.
But you didn't win any games. No games. One game was 1 out of 4. Right? Isn't that what you said?
Oh, sorry, 3 out of 4.
3 out of 4 won?
4 played.
Okay. Took you one to figure it out, right? It took you one to figure it out. And once you understood what the goal was, it changed the game, right? What about you guys? How many games did you play? And how many games were won? What about the first round? How many games were won? Okay, so one of you is better at tic-tac-toe than the other. I'm guessing Manny lost the 3 games. Okay, all right. Swing and a miss. What about you guys, Stephanie? Rex?
The first one we played 7, and I won 2, and then like the last one we did 10 and 10 wins.
Okay. What about you? What you guys?
First game we played 4, won 1.
Okay.
Second game played 5, and 2 wins.
Okay. Took you a minute to figure out. It took you a minute to figure out what to do, right? And then, what was the difference? What was the change? When
Standing right here.
right, a coach, a
Coach.
That doesn't mean that that's the person that's in charge of your schedule. It doesn't mean the person that's in charge of when you can go home or not. He's my coach sometimes. He's my coach sometimes. You guys, every person I work with helps coach me on what to do, whether you guys know it or not. So a coach doesn't mean someone that is in charge of you. A coach means someone that wants to explain the rules to the game so that you can win. Now, what most people think of is when you think of a winner, what's the other thing? You win or lose, right? Life is about win. So there's this book called The 7 Habits. Anybody ever and I know some of you guys have been through this before, but it's very impactful. It changed my life. So there's 4 categories of a win. You have win-win. You have lose-win. You have win, lose, and then what do you think the 4th one is?
Tie.
That's what a tie is, right? A tie, nobody gets. The best thing in a tie is you're where we're already at. A tie means you just get to play again. So what I've found is that most of the time where you want to end up is somewhere in this area. You get too close to the line, one of you loses, one of you wins. If you get too close to this line, you're both going to lose. It's hard to end up in a win-lose. That's a feeling to me. A win-lose is a feeling. Like, yeah, I'll do it only because I don't have the conviction to tell you I'm not going to do it. Does that make sense? And this is, when I say this is where it makes the most sense, is because this is where a deal happens. Because a deal is a what? What's a good deal?
A good feeling.
It's a feeling, right? It's a feeling. It's trust. It's you want something that I have, and you're not holding it over my head, and you know I want it, but you're not taking advantage of that. We're not marking the cars up. We're not adding accessories and charging substantially more than it would cost if the customer were to buy it themselves. We're offering a service. We're solving what?
Problem.
Solving problems. That's the idea. The rest in peace, Dan Culver. But who are we?
Nice people.
What do we do?
Solve problems.
Who are we?
Nice people.
What do we do?
Solve problems.
Who are we?
Nice people.
What do we do?
Solve problems.
Right. Rest in peace, Dan Culver. So where you want to end up is here. And the way, what is a way to end up here? How do you get to that point? How do you get it? How do you stay within that diamond? How do you stay within that realm? What are some things that you do as a salesperson that help keep you there?
Build value.
Build value. Great. What else?
Good habits.
Good habits. Process. You're nice. communication. Izzy, if your life was a mess, do you think you'd be at the level of personal and professional success as you are?
The reason why my life was a mess before is the reason why I am now.
Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's got a story.
You don't need to tell us the specifics, but
So, I mean, I went through a lot of dark paths, and it took a lot of walls going through them to realize that fuck, I try not go through the walls all around it. So all those past experiences have helped me become a better person now.
right, it's all of those things.
Yeah, I was lazy at one time. I was angry at myself at doing stupid things, and just learned how to change.
And you were always good at selling cars, weren't you? You always sold amount of cars that were which seemed unfeasible to a lot of people, even going through all those things. But it only amplified your success when you started to figure out that you were in control. And this is me too, guys. I used to ride a scooter. True story. Used to not have a car. Used to ride around in a motorized, and not like Al's. I'm talking one that like was a stand-up one. You're like, bing, had a little lawnmower engine on the back. Like, yeah, like hot rod. One, I had two of them. One was a stand-up, one had a seat. I used to have a gas can because I would go so far. The little quarter-ounce gas tank didn't work, so I taped. It's a true story. Never told anybody this. It's sitting on camera now. So use it against me later. I took electrical tape and taped a 5-gallon gas can on the floor of the scooter so I could hold more gas. And I'll tell you guys, I wasn't riding it to work because I wasn't working. I was an idiot. I was stupid. I was right. I was right because I was right to myself that I wasn't ever going to get the things that I wanted to get. And that all the other people that had what they wanted were just lucky. Jerry was just lucky. That's all that happened. He was just lucky. Look at him. He's not working hard. He's got his foot up, you know? But that's not true. And once I realized that, I was able to go, it's me. One finger's pointing at Jerry. I got 3 pointing right back at me. Taking accountability for what you're doing and where you're at will help you be in a position where you'll just start to have professional success because your measure is different. It's like taking your stuff and putting it in a little brown paper bag, leaving it on the step outside work, and then pick it up when you leave, right? Because nobody's going to pick up your shit for you. It's always going to be there. Nobody wants it, including yourself. So a homeless person's not even going to take it. There ain't no cans in it, nothing. It's going to be there when you go home. But when you have so much stuff it won't fit in the bag, you can't leave it anywhere, right? You can't leave it anywhere. So once you stop seeing value in carrying those things around and go, hey, I'm going to do something different today. I'm going to do something the way maybe somebody before me said that they did it, and I'll see if that works instead of just trying to go through every wall yourself. I was in the room next to him. I was trying to get to the other wall, and then we heard each other banging on the walls. I'm like, hey, dude, you want to? Maybe we should pick up these hammers.
Use the door.
Took words right out of my mouth. Shit, man, there's a door right there. Didn't unlock the, not even a knob on it. You could blow the door, but and it opened. So, what we're going to talk about here, real quick, is what is that? What is that? When you guys look at it on your phone and you look at the screen of your phone, pop it open. And tell me what you see. What do you see, Chris? The picture that you took. That when you, Zach, what do you see?
6.
What do you see, Zach? Like this?
A beat. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, okay, 6. You're like, I don't know, bro. You can't. You don't look like you can spell that great. I'm not sure what. Trevor, what is it?
To me, that looks like 6.
Okay, so do me a favor. Just lock your screen or whatever, or just set your phone down. Do me a favor. Spin your phone around, and then I want you to set your phone here, and Trevor, you set your phone right there. You guys got it. Do the same thing.
You just lock your screen, right? Lock your phone.
Yeah, so it doesn't flip. Andres, what do you see on your phone?
I see a 6.
What do you see on Madison's phone? Zach, what do you see on your phone? What do you see?
There's a 9.
Okay.
Or wait.
What about you, Rachel? What do you see on yours? Can't see her. She's trying to save her battery. She's like, you see her. Why? What we all agreed was a 6. We all agreed it was a 6 until someone did what?
Change your perspective.
Showed us a different way. Chris, read this.
Just because you are right does not mean I am wrong. You just haven't seen life from my side.
You told me you do $900 a month. You said you do $900 a month. It meant put no down. I'm doing that. Why are you saying you need to think about it? You said you would do it. You haven't solved the real problem. They've reacted, right? They said, you asked them a question. So if I could do it with 0 down, would you do it like this? Yeah, that's a reaction. So you come out and you're like, yeah, I got it there. They're like, man, I actually can't. I gotta go, man. I just got a phone call. My car died. Your car's right out there. I mean, my mom's friend died. I gotta go. That's what I gotta go, Rex. So you have to be the person that leads the conversation and use the path that's designed to help the customer do what they really want to do. What do they want to do? Want to buy a car from a nice person that they like, that they think is going to call them afterwards and take care of them and help them with the buy 3 get 1 for $1 tire sale, and it's going to remember their name when they come back. I think that's one of the biggest things that people want from a salesperson. I just want you to remember my goddamn name. That's kind of hard, right?
No.
Well, there's a lot of things that are hard for you, Chris. So. Okay. So what we're going to talk about here is giving a presentation, giving a good, simple presentation. We're talking first pencil. So where we're going to end up here, we're going to go through this fairly quickly because a lot of us have gone through this class before. We're going to get some reps in front of everybody. And when we practice, you're not going to practice giving you're not going to say, hey, are you excited? All right, here's how this should look. Where you're going to start is, I just need to know which one of these is going to work for you. Get the car washed up and ready for delivery. That's where we're going to start, okay? It doesn't matter if you know how to do the write-up or not. It doesn't matter if you're confident in doing that or not. That's not what we're practicing. We're gonna go a little forward, okay? Now, this is a little bit different than what we had before. I changed the color so we could tell the difference. So if you read these, they're in a different order here, but let's read this. Chris, you're a good reader. Let's talk about reactions and objections. So customer, which one of these is going to work best for you? What do they do? They don't know. Okay? So read that for me.
Understanding reactions versus objections. Action, distinguish between customer reactions, emotional responses, and objections are specific concerns. Benefit by identifying whether a customer is reacting emotionally or presenting a tangible objection, you can tailor your response more effectively. Address reactions with your empathy and acknowledge objections with solutions.
Okay, that last part's probably the most important part. Be empathetic to a reaction, but don't create a solution for a reaction. There's no solution to a reaction. The only thing that you can do is level out a reaction. That's it. Right? You're not going to move a mountain going, man, that's a big mountain. You have to get someone in the thought process of, okay, what do I need to do to move the mountain? What are the tools I have? What are the things that I have to do to get to where I want to go? So let's do real quick. What's an objection? Like, give me an example of an objection. We're talking, what are we trained to? I'm kind of short, so I'm going to use my computer. Good job, Chris. We train to the 80%. 20% of people, it's going to be way more difficult. Everybody uses those customers as an example. I want to talk about the 80%. If you're always in front of the 20% of customers, you should go figure out something else to do. You should do something different. If every time your customer has an objection you can't overcome, and we've done everything that we can do together to figure out how to get better or how to get through that objection, if you can't get through it, it's okay. It's like being blind. You can be blind, but it's really hard to be a taxi driver if you're blind, right? Anybody want to get into the taxi or a car with a blind person driving? No. But that doesn't mean that blind person is a bad person, right? Just means they shouldn't be driving a taxi. So if you can't get customers to the next step, if you can't utilize the process in a way that generates income for you and your family and gives the customer a good experience, we should just figure something else out. So what's an 80% objection?
The price.
I'm not. Yeah. That's it. Okay. What's an objection?
Go talk to the spouse.
Okay. They got to talk to someone. I'm going to give you guys the answer. Any objection is one of two things. They have to talk or do something. So they have to talk to someone or they have to go do something. Those are like the only two categories. Thinking is doing, right? That's a do. That's a thing that you have to do. So now I just got to think about it. Well, I've got to go to work. I've got to do this. I've got to talk to my spouse. I got to call Jerry. Jerry's my car guy. He's gonna be real upset with me that I'm buying a car down here because he always sells me my cars. Had a conversation with my friend that one night about that just recently, and now we've got a truck on the way to the auction for him. Different story, but you've got to do something, or you've got to what? Okay, making sure. So if we know that, and you guys can or can't, you guys may or may not believe me. You can choose to believe me or not believe me. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just saying, Jerry, how many deals do you think that you've worked as a sales manager and as a salesperson? Not necessarily been a part of making the deal, but how many would you say that you've just worked?
6 years as a sales manager, 2,000 or better.
Yeah, probably thousands. So many that like you'd have a stack of paper. This you're like, oh, I remember that deal. And most of those deals all were in like one of 6 categories. But all of the objections that we got through, all the reasons those deals didn't go through is because they had to talk to someone or they had to do something. Because if they have one of these things to do, they get to leave. That's the idea. They're uncomfortable. We know they're going to be uncomfortable. We know they're not going to tell us the real objection initially, and we know that they're just going to want to go. When we're talking 80% of people, okay. So we have the ability to be prepared. The process is like a time machine, right? I've experienced this before. I've gotten that phone call before. Like, yeah, man, I saw this coming. Only because that happened to me before, and I can work my way through it this time. That's the idea. So let's ask these. Let's just go through some open-ended questions. Don't read them off of here, Zach. Read them off the green paper there.
Just read all.
Yeah. Why are they green?
You got a color printer.
Because my computer's hardwired to the printer and the internet was down. They're green because they represent money, right? These are money makers. These are where you're going to make your money. Who's here to make money? Okay.
Tell me more about that. Other than that, how does everything else look? So it sounds like you're telling me. How close can you come and still feel good about it? Flexibility in down versus payment. How close can you come and still feel good about it? Where do we go from here? What's the next step?
Okay, so I changed the order of these a little bit as more of a chronological order. So you wouldn't, after you say, I got to think about it, you're not going to say, well, what's the next step? I just told you. I told you I got to do one of two things. I got to think about it, which is a do, or I've got to talk to somebody. So when we practice this, we're just going to practice it just like this. And I think that'll flow a little bit better. Instead of having to remember which one should I use, God, which one of those should I use? You'll just have to remember that that's the order that they go in, okay? So asking open-ended questions like that encourages the customer to express their feelings without pressure. What that helps you with is it provides insight into their hesitation and helps clarify whether they're reacting or whether it's a reaction or an objection. So that's a key thing. You have to be able to determine that. You have to be able to determine if it's a reaction and its objection. If it comes up within the first 5 minutes of meeting someone on the lot, it's all reaction. It's not real.
Oh, it's expensive.
Sure is. Bought eggs lately?
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard they're $2.99 in Parkdale. Just saying. It's just a reaction. It is what it is. It's a conversation. That's what it is. But if you say, I think we talked about this either in a meeting before or in this training meeting, but what's the biggest thing that you have to overcome as a new salesperson? What's like the biggest what's the most common objection you always get? Okay, which is what? It's a price. I don't know why. I think it's because as a new salesperson, you feel like that's the only thing that you have to talk about with the customer, and you just kind of hone in on it. But as you get better, you realize that's nothing. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. And then you're like, how does he do that? You're like, he's just down in the lot. How many cars did you sell last year?
Last year?
Yeah.
263 and a half.
You know how he knows? You know why he knows that? Because it's important to him. He wants to win, but he can't. He knows to win, the customer also has to win. Did we take some shitty deals? Did we have some drama? Did we have some upset people that we had to get through? The Owen family got a 5-star, got a fake 5-star review, basically.
So annoying.
A fake 5-star review. That's so fake, bro. I cannot wait to meet Jeff Owen in person. It's gonna be great. But we have to get through it. We the all, some, and none categories. We talked about that the other day. So paraphrasing and clarifying, it's really important. Izzy, what's that say? Can you see it in green? I know it's a light color. It's hard for you guys, but
So what you're telling me is,
okay. So you restate the customer's points to confirm that you understand. So what you're telling me is that you're hoping the payment was different, not less or more, but you were hoping to see something different. Yes. Okay. Tell me a little bit more about that. And by asking that question, it's designed to lead you to the green piece of paper. So you're guiding the customer down a path using your words. So you want to maintain flexibility, and you want to, what I like to call, pop the valve. You want to try to relieve the pressure from the situation, right, Chris? Are you more nervous when you started, or you feel more comfortable in those situations?
You always feel nervous, but definitely not as much as when you first start out.
Yeah.
They're gonna say no.
They're gonna say no, man. Oh my God. My golly gee. So your responsibility as a professional, when you go to the doctor, who wants to go to the doctor? Not many people. But when you've waited and waited and waited and waited to go to the doctor, you're like, I gotta go to the doctor. I gotta go to the doctor. Are you nervous when you get there? You're a little annoyed you have to be there. You wish you didn't have to do it. Right. Yeah, one time I asked, the lady told me my blood pressure, and I said, is that good or bad? She goes, I actually don't know. I'm like, God bless America. God bless America. And then I was like, well, what does it mean? She goes, I don't know what it even means. I just know what numbers have to put. Like, cool. Where's the doctor? But you get there, and the doctor comes in, and they ask you some questions, and they take control of the situation, right? Then they have their computer, and they type in your symptoms, and they go through all this stuff. They utilize the tools at their disposal, as well as their experience, to figure out what isn't necessarily wrong, but what to do to fix it. And they usually give you more than one option, right? And then like, go to physical therapy, and you're like, I'm not physical therapy. Give me some ideas.
give me that less than
Right, yeah. So, T-Rex, why don't you read, so maintain flexibility and pop the valve. Read the phrase, action, and benefit for me.
Phrase, let's explore some options that might work for you. Action, show willingness to adapt to the deal based on the customer's needs. Pop the valve means release pressure in the negotiation by offering alternative solutions. Benefit, reduces pressure and helps the customer feel supported in finding a solution that works for them.
That is called being a professional. That's what that is. Folks, you may have not been here before, but Rachel, I've been here before, and we're gonna figure out a way to get through this. And I always like to say, and Jerry, the worst thing that's gonna happen here is we part as friends. That's the worst thing that's gonna happen, right? Nobody's gonna die. Nothing crazy is gonna happen. So going, trying to get the person out of the extreme, the worst thing that can happen. And often when you're not sure what to do, it leads to indecision. You just don't do anything, right? Like, I'll just keep my car, or I'll drive my lease for a little bit longer until I figure out what I want to do. I'm not even sure what other car I should get. I have to buy the same car, lease the same car. Now it's more expensive than it was when I first did it. Well, that's life. Okay? Zach, keep it simple.
Keep it simple.
It's the red one.
Yeah. Share only the most relevant information needed to address the customer's concerns.
Okay, time out. What? Tell us a little about the
Oh, yeah, relevant information. Because it's so easy to talk yourself out of the deal.
Right. Izzy, do you talk a lot?
Nope, I don't think so.
I don't think so either. It's a weird deal. Weird deal. He doesn't talk a lot. He listens. And what's your strategy with standing really close to people?
What's my strategy?
Yeah.
Make them feel warm.
Okay.
You know, let them know that I'm trying to listen. I
Okay.
want to know what's your concern.
Anybody ever had Izzy stand real close to you?
Yeah. So this backs up.
Right. Right. He's like this. You have my complete, devoted, and undivided attention, and I'm listening to you, and you, to the point where if you whisper,
Eye contact,
keep the lights on.
important.
Right. Always maintaining eye contact. Always looking at someone to the point where it's almost it creates some uncomfort. But what you're trying to do is shake. If you're uncomfortable about making a decision, and then you're uncomfortable about someone staring at you, what will you most likely end up focusing on? Which one? I'll give you a hint. It's what I'm doing to you right now.
Yeah.
Right. It's gonna take. I always look at like the bridge of someone's nose because it's like connecting eyes, bro. We about to dance. That's what we about to do. Come on over.
And you'll notice too when some of you are really uncomfortable.
Yeah, look
Your
down.
eyes will like look down.
Right. But it's undivided attention to the task at hand, so that you can kind of create a different awkwardness, create something else for them to think about, so that they can get to the point where they make the decision that they want to make. Right? We don't want to do anything to the customer. We don't want to. What's the guy's name on the truck? Overstream. What's his Ty? Right, Ty. He's feeling really bad, but we're not trying to get him to do anything. We're offering him a solution to what he said was his problem, which he needed a work truck. And yeah, man, we're not gonna force it down your throat. It's you sign the contract, eat shit, and get out. That's not how we do it, because we want that person to feel good about doing business with us. So by sharing only the most relevant information needed to address the customer's concern, they don't care about at this point, and I'm probably going to hurt some feelings here, but I promise you I'm coming from a place that I want you to get better. But they don't care about your cats, they don't care about your dogs, they don't care about your hairdo, they don't care about where you went. Like, they'll be nice, they'll be polite, but eventually they'll just leave. You won't make a decision. So they want to hear about your kids. I want to tell Jerry all about my kids and my wife, but only to a certain extent, because we have a business relationship at that point if he's my customer. We have he wants to do business with someone that wants to do business with him. It's called talking past the sale or talking past the close.
And really, you haven't even earned the right to really build that kind of hard rapport with them.
No way.
So you're talking to a fresh up. Yeah, like Jimmy said, they don't care about that stuff.
No.
You want to engage them so they can talk about what they like and their cars.
Right. And at the time, even though you think it's genuine, they do not see it as genuine. They see it as a smoke screen. They see it as a smoke screen if you do it too much and if you don't do it the right way. If you do it the right way, you get them to start seeing you as just a person. That's the idea. But if you overshare or you spend too much time or you are like really bought into the fact that they're not buying a car today and you're just making a friend so that when you are ready, and Jerry's like, dude, I'm fucking ready. You're not picking up the signals. Right, you're not picking up. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it just depends on what kind of price you give me on the car. That's a buying signal. That's a buying signal. And if I'm like, you know what, Jerry, there's a time where you're like, well, we look at the way we price our cars is yada, yada, yada. He didn't ask me how we price our cars. He just said, I mean, depends on the price. Jerry, don't even worry about that, man. It's going to be fair. It's going to be fair. And that's where this is. Right, it's relevant. I don't need to over-explain. He might just be trained to ask that.
Yeah, you're not going to tell them, well, we should use the computer for protection around 500 miles of
Right.
area.
Right. It's like being at the first pencil. You're not trying to overcome any objections. I'm just trying to get you in. I'm just trying to get you to move forward. And if you get to the point where he's still asking that, well, Jerry, I haven't done a good enough job building value in the vehicle, I guess. If you don't see the value, that's my fault. And then most likely Jerry's going to be, no, you did a good job. Okay, so that price will work then. The value's there. You set them up to pull them with you. I call it loading your clips, loading your clip. And where Where what it sounds like I mean is that you're going to battle with someone, right? You want to have as much ammunition as you can. What I really mean, and what I found out over the years, is you want to have as much ammunition as you can because you're taking the customer somewhere and you're in charge of getting them there safe. There's a jungle. In my mind, I picture it as a jungle, and it's like a shitty little trail that you can tell people walk on, but it's not paved. It's sketchy. People are trying to do something to you on that trail, and if you stop, you're done. If you stop, you're going to get robbed. They're trying to take you, trying to make sure you don't go home. So if I don't have the right ammunition and firearm or bow and arrow or whatever, or there's rainbows and you have to have a unicorn spear to be able to fight the rainbows. I don't care what it is, but you have to have enough of something to be able to get to the end because you're in charge of taking that customer to where they want to go. And it's your fault if they don't take delivery of a car, whether you want to believe it or not. It's your responsibility. It's your fault if they, because you every time it's always my fault if they buy it, right? Right? It's my fault if they buy it. I did that. I made that happen. But it's not my fault if they didn't buy it. No, it's both. So when you share only the most relevant information, it avoids overwhelming the customer and enhances clarity. Straight back to tell me a little bit more about that. And it focuses on the essentials to make their decision easier. That's what you want to do. Are you doing something that's making this easier, or are you complicating it because you're talking about how dealer trades work? Are you talking about how the financing works? Izzy, do a lot of your customers want to know the interest rate? I'll give you a hint. No. Izzy doesn't come into my office all the time and say, hey, Jamie, they're going to want to know the interest rate. Hey, they're going to want a little bit more for their trade. I know they don't want to put any money down. No, he just takes it and goes because he gets consistency from me. That's the idea. If you have a sales manager that offers you consistency, that's a habit of a good sales manager. Doesn't necessarily mean I'm a good sales manager. It just means I have a good habit. That's all it is. Because it ain't about me. It ain't about him. It's about us and the customer and the business. We have a financial responsibility, a fiduciary responsibility to take care of the customers within the business.
We could be on the same ground. We understand what I already know how he's going to do something.
Yep.
I already know that. I'm not surprised I'm going to hope for it.
Yeah. And guess what? If he is, he doesn't show it. Because I'll be printing some of these things out. Like, oh. All right. And because I have to do that myself. Sometimes I'll build the deal worse. I'll extend the term. I'll lower the cash down. I'll do this. I'll give them more for their trade-in. I'll lower the price. And then I'll just reset it all back to the way I do it every time. I just get it out of my system. Okay? And then we give a couple of smiley faces, right, Chris? Okay. Silence, something I need to use more. Let's see. Rachel, read that. Use silence effectively.
Action, ask as many options or questions, give the customer time to think without interruption. Benefit allows them to process the information and encourages them to voice their next thoughts.
We talked about this a while ago. It's not the first person that talks loses. It's the first person that talks is less prepared. That's all it is. It's not if you talk first, you're not going to lose. You're just going to eventually lose. You're going to get closer to lose, win, or win, lose. Just it shows your preparation, and you should be more prepared than the customer.
You're not confident to.
Right. That's what I mean. Preparation.
And this is just the first pencil anyway, so it doesn't. It doesn't really.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter. Yeah.
That's been said on our sales floor. That's.
Oh my God.
Or when they're looking at it for a long time, and you're like, and you know, we could do even less than that. It's just then they're like, what the?
Well, I was about to do it, and now you're saying I could get, a better deal. I just gotta sit there, even when it's
Right, because we're not doing things to people, we're doing things for people. And sometimes when you do something for anybody have a kid? Raise your hand if you got a kid. Raise your hand if you've been someone's kid. Okay. So you all know that at some point you didn't get the whole story yet. Can my friend stay the night? I don't know, ask your mom. Hey mom, dad said my friend can stay the night if you're okay with it. Like, and then she's like, hey, did you tell him Emma could stay? I never said he could stay the night. I told him to ask you. You're home. Oh, okay. And then all of a sudden, now he played his hand a little too hard. Sometimes that's with other things, but my kid, for the first time, I have 3 boys. My 12-year-old, he's a skater punk now. He's a shredder, bro. He's a shredder. Well, him and his friend got a vape at the skate park and thought they just the dumbest pair of kids in the world. They filmed themselves in his bedroom. I still have the vape in my drawer. Ooh, blowing it through a straw, putting a bearing, a skateboard wheel bearing on the straw. And then his friend, who was clearly the one that did it more, was blowing smoke rings. And my kid's like, and then he's like, trying to do it. Well, they sent that to a kid whose parent then saw the video within 1 hour of them doing this. And then we got together with the other parents, and it's hard. It's hard because you want to tell them everything, right? You want to tell them how dumb that is and how frustrated you are, but you can't do that. It's very similar to this. You have to allow the situation to kind of work itself out. And sorry, I just remember looking at him that morning, and he just, it was tough. It was tough because he realized that he let me down. He realized that that's not what I want to do. That's not who I want to be. Something as simple as just doing that. He's 12. I just told him, be a kid as long as you can be a kid. Be a nice salesperson as long as you can be a nice salesperson. Be really good at what you're doing and just hang out there. Because this is a lot of work, right, guys? Sometimes I wish I just was outside saying hi to people. You know what I mean, Chris?
Not yet, but yeah.
Chris says, Jamie, you don't have a good poker face. I can always tell it in your eyes. Didn't you say it the other day? Like when something, hear it in your eyes. Yeah. But just be really good at what you're doing. Don't put yourself in. I don't know how we got on that, but sometimes when you end up in a deal that doesn't end up the right way, you're the kid on the video smoking the vape with your buddy, thinking that you're right. You're like, this isn't a big deal. The customer leaving is not a big deal. We didn't pay enough money for their car. That's why. Yeah. Jerry looked at their car. It was way nicer than they thought. I mean, because he's dumb. Should have paid more. No, you should have built more value. Should have known more of the problem. So sometimes you're the kid on the video vaping, and you just got to go, yeah, that was not what I should have been doing. It doesn't make me stupid, doesn't make me a bad person. It just means I wasn't doing what I should have been doing. We'll work on using sound more effectively. Okay, review the customer's pain points. Revisit the specific pain points you discovered during the pre-appraisal phase. So during our earlier conversation, as you mentioned that you needed a third row. Can we dive a little bit deeper into that? What do you mean? Well, we went to the coast in our Highlander, and we just realized we have more shit now because our kids are getting older and we need more space. Just happened, right?
Yeah, Megan
McNerney, God bless America. So, or you indicated that reliability is essential in your next vehicle. Let's discuss how we can address that concern or why that is something that's important to you, right? Reliability means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. What's it mean to you? Well, I just don't want my car to break down. My car's currently breaking down. Well, here's all these things about this car and all the things about the programs that go with this car that are going to help prevent that situation from happening. So the benefit to that is it reinforces your understanding of their needs. It demonstrates empathy. Empathy doesn't mean being sorry. Empathy does not mean bending to the will of what someone is telling you. Empathy means being willing to tell someone something that they don't want to hear that's going to benefit them based on what they said their problem is. Being empathetic is not being weak. It's not being passive. It means just have the conversations with people. If Jerry knows my stats, Jerry's my general manager, and maybe I'm a sales manager that's not doing a great job at recruiting people. Maybe that's my thing. I don't have enough people on my team. And we have a good relationship. Jerry's being empathetic to my situation by saying, Jamie, your main job is to train, hire, and recruit good people. I need you to do that. You can't do that. You can't be a sales manager. That means Jerry wants me to be a sales manager, right? That means he's giving me, hey, Jamie, we need you to do this if you want to have what you say you want to have. Same thing as a salesperson. If we're telling you, hey, you've got to get more customers through the process, we're telling you that because we want you to be a salesperson here. We want you to be successful. You have to understand that being empathetic, when someone's being empathetic to you, it doesn't mean that they're agreeing with you. It often really means that they're disagreeing with you. It just comes with a taste that not many people are really accustomed to. That makes sense? Okay. So let's talk about this. Trevor, use the stall breaker statements to get the customer talking.
Action, implement a clear and direct statement specifically designed to encourage the customer to share their thoughts and concerns. Example statement. I understand this is a big decision. What specific questions or concerns do you have that we can address to help you move forward? Benefit. This prompts the customers to engage and express their feelings, facilitating a productive conversation.
Okay. So adopting a less is more. Why do you think that's green? Because it makes you money. Adopting a less is more approach to the purchase negotiation empowers you to engage customers more effectively and respond to the stall with confidence. That's the idea, confidence and conviction. Focus on clarity, empathy, and collaboration to guide the conversation forward. Clarity, I want everybody to write these down in their book. Clarity, empathy, and collaboration. Clarity, empathy, and collaboration. And that can be with your customer, that can be with your teammates, that can be with your manager, that can be with anybody. So what we're going to do now is we're going to role play. Okay? So T-Rex is going to give us a demonstration of how we're going to do this. So your first pencil is just to set up the second pencil. You're not working on overcoming objections at that point. The first pencil, just assume everything is a reaction. And what are the two things that someone's going to say? They either need, what are the categories? They have to talk to someone or they have to do something. That's it. So we're going to use the stall breaker statements, hopefully in this chronological order, to then get the customer to give us what their real objection is. So this is a difficult thing to role play because, I mean, all we're doing is looking at a used car. It's about $35,000, which is a little above the median average of what a used car costs, which is about $25,000 right now, the average cost of a used car. And these payments are a little higher. So what are the four things customers typically will object to? Okay, price, payment, term. So I'll give it to you. Price, down payment, and trade value for the most part. But we can change this to trade value into maybe an interest rate question or something like that. So I want to use these statements to then get into the objections that our process is designed to answer. So we're going to do payment and down payment. These are in red. Everybody see it? It's kind of, I know it's a little light, but it's red. So good presentation should lead to a no. Good presentation should lead to a substantial amount of no's. Because if you're asking a lot of questions, then they're going to have a lot of answers. Often, initially, it's going to be no, right, Zach? Are you on the floor yet?
On Monday, I started on the floor.
Okay, good.
I mean, I've been shadowy, so I've done some deals. I've watched more than I've done.
Okay.
But
okay. Rex, what do you want? You want a Volkswagen Atlas or you want a Jeep Wrangler? He's like, shit, man, I want to go. That's what I want to do. Okay, right. It doesn't matter. I almost wanted to do this training without a write-up. So all I want you to do, you're just gonna go with, just need to know which one of these is gonna work best for you. It gets car washed up, ready for delivery. Okay, and then I want Stephanie. You're gonna be the customer. I'm not going to put it all on Zach because we don't want him actually buying a car and driving it back. I mean, we do if you want to, but I know Trevor could close it like a screen door. So Stephanie's objective is to what? Give him nothing. That's the worst. Everything looks great. That's the worst one if you're not prepared. This preparation is key. So I want everyone, if someone is doing this the wrong way, time out. We're going to practice like we play. But what is practice? It's controlled failure. That's all it is. Okay. So hit him up, Trevor. Hey, I got you.